Now, more than ever, teams must come together and work together to solve big challenges, and Trello is here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format, plus tons of features that make working with your team functional and fun. With Trello, you can work with your team wherever you are, whether it's at home or in an office. Keep your workflow going from wherever you are with Trello. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Working remotely can be a challenge, especially for teams that are new to it. How do you deal with your work environment being the same as home while staying productive? At a time when teams must come together more than ever to solve big challenges, Trello's here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, has been powering remote teams globally for almost a decade. Trello keeps everyone on the same page, helping teams communicate, focus, and connect. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com.
Scarpins Avenue.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of
Dumb People Town.
Population
Williams.
Harland Williams. Welcome to the show.
Third. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Is there a Harland Williams Senior? There should be.
Nope. There's Colonel Harland Saunders. No, people don't
Colonel
know that
Sanders?
Colonel Sanders' name is Harland.
Harland.
Same
really?
spelling as mine.
Wow.
Yeah, people don't know that.
And you were named after your mother. Now, that's a weird thing.
Yeah, my mother's
name was Harland Williams
My
the
mother's
first.
Christian name is John.
Stop it.
Okay.
Please, dear God, stop.
How dry are your labia at this point?
It's pretty parched.
Okay,
it's like
thank
an
you.
Arizona desert
you very
after
much.
Rebel Wilson drove her doom buggy across.
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, I love
Her
her.
doom buggy. You know she has a doom
I
buggy.
didn't know that.
DOM?
Doom, yeah.
Doom
buggy. When she's driving, it's doom. Get out of her
She's
way.
not a good driver. That's
I
what
lost
you're
my
saying.
virginity in the back of her dune buggy. Is
Stop
that
it.
weird?
To her
Weird.
or
No,
to
that's
someone
not
else?
weird at all.
To her and a couple of her friends.
Oh, okay.
While she was driving. And a scorpion.
That is so talented. Jay, did you
Right.
find a scorpion in your shoe?
I found 2 scorpions in my house, and I killed them both with my shoes.
You killed the
are you,
poisonous
Phoenix?
creatures.
Here in Laurel Canyon. Killed them too. Killed
I
them
had
both.
one in my sink once. I went into my sink to brush my teeth at 10 at night,
Uh-huh.
and it was in the bottom of my sink. And I'm like, how did it first get up on my counter?
What'd you do?
I just turned on the tap and sent it for an eternal dip.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
smart. That's smart.
Yeah, it's backstroking in heaven somewhere now, my funny little friend.
Just resting on its stinger.
Oh,
terrible.
too soon.
Too soon for the sink scorpion?
Power slam.
Sink
bro.
scorpion RIP.
Whoa.
Oh, again, too soon.
Inappropriate. Wow.
Harlan, do you believe that the world's getting dumber? I know you when you get out in the world and you travel around, you do stand up, I'm sure you encounter some very stupid people.
It is. It's getting, but it's weird to me. It's getting dumber and smarter at the same time.
little bit.
They're like 2 rocket ships going
One's
up at the
louder, though.
exact same velocity and speed, and
The dumb one's a little louder.
maybe there's a lot of dumbness going on. Yeah.
So we try and at least figure out why it's happening and what's going on by our fans send us stories. Dan gets them. The 3 of us have no idea what's going on.
We have
Dan,
not heard of the story
Dan
yet.
barely
Good.
knows what's going
That's
on.
very
Is
true.
he dumb? Do you think?
Is Dan
he
dumb?
part of the dumb?
No,
or is he
Dan's
I'm
smart.
uninformed.
Okay.
Dan is
Just
part
more
of
uninformed.
He's part of the
uninformed?
solution.
Is like the Christian name for dumb.
That's
oh,
right.
Yeah.
shit.
He is brilliantly uninformed.
Dan,
Daniel,
let's jump into a story.
Let's
We have
do a
Harlan
story.
Williams
You want to
here.
do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Sent in by Andrea Westaway at A Westaway.
I'm a Westaway Points member.
Oh, you
yeah,
are?
yeah, yeah.
Do
I
you?
get Westaway
Is it a
Points every
good
time I stay at a Hilton.
system?
Yeah. It is. It
I'm,
is.
I'm on the Hilfin Honors.
I'm a member of a Wedgeway, which is from the famous song "The Lion Sleeps Tonight."
Yeah,
Wedgeway.
Yeah.
The
Most
Lions.
popular Wedgeway.
Thank you.
Andrea Westaway sent this in. Thank you, Andrea.
All right, let's do it.
Cat and Rod Gordon.
Is there
KNR.
people?
Yep.
Okay.
They checked into their Edmonton Airbnb on Sunday before going to spend time with family.
Now, where in Canada did you grow up?
Toronto, but
Okay.
I know Edmonton well.
Who is traveling to Edmonton and staying at an Airbnb in Edmonton?
Well, Wayne Gretzky would be because he was on the Edmonton Oilers, who won the Stanley Cup
Yari
4 times.
Curry.
Circle gets a
Yari
square.
Curry.
Circle gets a square.
I'm staying at Grant Fuhr's Airbnb.
Oh, sweet lettuce leaf.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Top shelf
Solid
cookie
pull,
jar.
Jason Sklar.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right, so they're staying at
Can't
that
rent them.
Airbnb
Yep.
in Edmonton.
Yeah, they checked in on Sunday before going to spend time with their family. But, as there always is in Dump People Town, but when the Vancouver Island couple returned later that evening, they were met with the sounds of heavy metal blaring from the unit and their bags unpacked.
That could be anywhere in Canada, by the way.
Heavy
Yeah.
metal blaring from
Yeah.
the unit. That was in memory of Rob Ford. Am I right?
Of 100%.
Because
Here's
his
my-
penis would play heavy metal music. It
Rob
would
Ford?
Stop.
Yes, you could get heavy metal. Only 2 stations: heavy metal and heavy Christian.
And classic rock.
And I stress for Rob Ford the word heavy.
Jay.
May
And
he rest
dead.
in peace.
And dead, too.
dead.
Rob
Heavy
Ford
and
was
dead.
a metaphor for Canada. All right, big, white, a lot of open spaces,
Yeah.
and now very cold.
And
Yeah.
and beautiful powder.
That's right.
A lot of great
Yeah,
powder
yeah.
up there.
A lot of unbelievable white powder surrounding him at all.
I seriously could watch Rob Ford walking into a camera like a million times.
Yeah, he was great.
Around a hallway, right into a camera.
Who is more of a national Canadian treasure, Rob Ford or Terry Fox?
Ooh.
Who had trouble walking long distances more?
Both.
Probably Ford. Yeah, I think Terry made it across the country. Ford barely made it to the buffet line. So
Okay, so they
Here's
come
my
back.
problem with that sentence, though. They come back and they're met with heavy metal sounds blaring from the unit and their bags unpacked, which means,
Someone came into the.
no, think about them. They got to the place they are not familiar with, heard heavy metal music coming out of it, and then went inside
Yeah.
right.
to find everything unpacked. I'm not going in.
You don't go towards the heavy metal music.
It's a home invasion by a garage band, is what it sounds like.
They own it now.
Yeah.
Leave them there. That's
Wow.
their Airbnb.
Their stuff.
Wow.
They live here now.
Right.
Or you call
But
the
at least
police.
they unpack their stuff. So these are people who love heavy metal music but don't like living out of a suitcase.
Connie, could you throw on some Danzig and help me unpack these pants? I can't wait till the comments. That's technically not heavy metal.
Bro, that song is. and
Okay.
That album is.
According to Kat, who posted about the bizarre incident on Facebook, which I guess is a thing people use.
People use that.
A man and woman had somehow managed to break into the suite in downtown Edmonton, where they spent a few hours between 5 and 9:30 p.m., quote, listening to death metal, smoking, drinking, and trying on our clothing, shoes, and jewelry.
I kind of like these people.
Wow.
What do you want to do tonight, honey?
Let's get drunk. Let's break into
Let's
an
break into an
Airbnb.
Airbnb, try on some clothes, smoke a little bit,
Put on
drink a little
those,
bit.
put on those classic hits. that
And
we
I need
love.
to put on someone else's shoes just to get in the mood.
Oh God! Do people leave their clothes at Airbnbs?
They must
yeah,
have gone there.
it's-
I think
yeah.
these people showed up, dropped off their luggage, and then went to go hang out with family.
Yeah, we're late to go see this family. We'll unpack later. What's the
Wow.
worst
What's
that's going
the
to
worst
happen?
that can
Destiny
happen?
was
A
going to
man
unpack
and woman
for
are
you.
going to come in here and listen to some
And
Slipknot.
you know the husband was like, let's put the stuff away before we go see your family.
Right.
And the wife is like, no,
No,
we gotta go
they
right
are
now.
expecting us now.
We gotta go right now. And he's like, we can put the stuff away. And she's like, honey, we gotta go right now.
Right.
And he's like, What's the difference? They can wait 10 minutes. I'd like to get my stuff into a dresser.
And I
So-
hope these two little metal trolls were outside the window and were like, let's unpack it for them. Let's put on Pantera and unpack it for them.
Can you imagine walking into that? Or just like your setup, because some comedy clubs will like put you, like Denver put you up at a very, like a very nice loft down by
Comedy condo.
Works and the comedy condos and whatnot, and you just walk in and there's just other people there
I
wearing your
turn-
clothes and play.
I'm not
Wearing
even
your clothes
arguing.
is such an intimate
Oh,
thing.
wearing my clothes?
I'd be mad.
Yeah.
Very
a
loud.
Harland Williams
Stop it.
flannel. You see like some gal coming out in one of those.
In college, I rented a room at a family's house, and I'll never forget one day, the son came home and I saw him in the living room and I said, "How you doing, bro?" And he's like, "Great. I hope you don't mind. I borrowed your cowboy boots." And I looked down. He was wearing my boots. I was like,
Without asking?
"Yeah." I was just like, "Okay, bro."
You're like, I do mind.
No, I'd
Yeah.
say, I bet you hoped that.
Yeah.
it was
I bet
weird.
you've hoped that all day.
And
That
I-
I wouldn't mind.
I hope you
Yeah.
didn't
It must
do
be
that.
nice to hope for things.
Yeah.
What do I hope for? I hope you had respect. That's what I hope you have that.
Yeah.
I hope you get curbed like that guy in American History
No,
X.
Jason.
Why am I being so
Scorpion,
Too
R.I.P.
fictional.
I killed a scorpion in my house.
Jay,
Come at me in my cowboy boots, bro.
Jay's like a sink
How
scorpion.
big was your scorpion that you killed?
It's about
They're small,
How big
right?
is yours?
The
Yeah,
Laurel
34
Canyon
inches.
ones
Laurel
are
Canyon
small.
scorpions.
How big was yours in
They're
the
like
sink?
small. They're like
You
Joni
guys both
Mitchell
doing
small.
finger
yeah.
gestures on the
Yeah.
Johnny
podcast.
Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell small.
Yeah.
In the canyon. So it was a little mystical too.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Right.
So they smoked, they drank, they listened to some death metal.
I'm gonna say they
tried
fooled
on
around, too.
clothing, shoes, and jewelry. Do you like this watch, babe? What?
I'm just
I
gonna
can't hear you.
over
Slayer
Enter Sandman.
to make
So wait, I'm confused. Were these guys playing instruments or were they just playing like
playing music.
music?
Uh,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I thought they were playing
No, I
playing
got into
metal.
that tape deck.
That would
Okay.
be amazing.
Yeah.
To make matters weirder, the pair also unpacked Cat and Rod's toiletries and washed their own clothes in the washing machine. Now this is a poorly written sentence. I don't know if they're saying that the intruders washed their clothes in the washing machine
I think
or
they
the
did.
intruders washed Cat and Rod's
think
clothes.
they
I think the
washed-
reason why they're wearing Cat and Rod's clothing is because they threw their clothes
There
into the
you
washer.
go. Okay.
And that's
That's
you
what-
never trust a cat in Rod's clothing. I've always said
Whoa,
that. I've
good
always said
saying.
that.
Good saying.
I've always said that, and let's just understand.
I
it.
wonder, did anyone look to see if Iron Maiden's tour bus was parked on the
Why-
street
that's because
anywhere?
then they're just on brand.
Yeah,
they're
they're
just
like
metal.
stoned metal guys that wandered into a
And
house.
did anyone check the time? Was it 2 minutes to midnight?
2
Whoa,
minutes
nice.
to midnight.
That was
So,
perfect.
Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate that.
Cat and
Beautiful.
Rod's toiletries, and they washed their clothes in the washing machine, which caused flooding in part of the suite. So they're so metal they don't even know how to do laundry.
They can't do any.
Dumbass.
They must have put a ton of clothes in there because it floods when it's too much in there.
Right.
It can also
Actually, I have
flood
no
if you
idea
don't
when
shut
it
the door
floods.
right. I mean, there's a bunch
Right.
of ways.
Doesn't
why.
it turn off?
I don't know. It's
Or if
probably
you have
not.
sand in your pockets, like if you're if you're on a sand dune,
Yeah.
like maybe with Rebel Wilson or
Okay,
something,
now we're
come
back
on,
there.
and then
man.
you clog the filters
I
and you
know.
overflow.
That's what
And then-
happens.
That she was your sink scorpion. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
She got
yeah.
you. She done got
me.
you.
She done got
me,
you.
kid.
The strangers left the unit in Cat and Rod's clothes, but left behind their own shoes on a shoe rack, jackets in a closet, and a large bowl of cigarettes sitting on a table. I don't know if they were smoked or unsmoked. I hope unsmoked, like just for company.
The unpacking of the toiletries is a complete and utter waste of time.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like they're like, I don't understand. That's the move where you're like, I don't know what these
What
guys.
did they
They were
want
looking
from
for
us?
pills, bro. They're rockers. They're
Whoa.
looking
Hey,
for
dude.
uppers, downers,
Yeah.
dudes.
Is there a bowl
Lutes.
for our cigarettes? I need a cigarette bowl.
Yeah.
Who puts cigarettes in a bowl?
Well,
Didn't
putting them
that used
out
to
in
be a thing back in the 60s that you would have a bowl or like a little case of cigarettes just sitting on the coffee table for
Yeah,
company
bowl
when they
of
come
cigarettes.
over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a cigarette bowl.
Of like
Go to
candy
this
bowl.
kids.
yeah.
Go to the cigarette bowl and pick out two.
Yeah.
You each get two.
Yeah.
That was, by the way, when I drove up to Tahoe with my family, and we stopped at a gas station. I was like, "You can." It was early in the morning. I'm like, "You guys can pick two of whatever you want."
Yeah.
Now, if they would have picked cigarettes, they
Takis?
would have had to start smoking.
My son eats Takis.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so
come
to
on, man.
Takis and
on,
like
man.
Never had a Taki. Just learned what a Takis
They're
were
hot.
a month
They're
ago.
like super
from my
hot
nephew,
Cheetos.
Ronan.
They're like
suck.
flaming Cheetos that are smooth.
What if they pick breasts? Is that considered like
Are they
two,
for
or
sale?
do you get two sets of
two
breasts?
sets
That's
of
a great
breasts.
call.
That's
Yeah.
four.
Okay.
It's like
That's
if you've
actually
gone
a great
ho-hos, you
technical.
get three. You get
That's
three
right.
ho-hos if you had gone for the ho-hos. They come in
Okay.
a set.
Do they come in three
Yeah.
hose or three?
Okay.
I thought
Two
they were
vertical,
one.
one horizontal.
So
I
if
don't-
your son asked for
My two daughters.
your
At,
two daughters asked for breasts, they'd
I-
get four.
if each of them asked for breasts,
They
we got
get
8.
eight.
We got 8 breasts driving up to
Dan,
town.
I don't like it
Oh.
when people hashtag their posts no ho ho. I don't like
Really?
that. I
Yeah.
don't like that.
They need
Yeah.
to get
I
on the
think
ho-ho
that's
button.
I think that's insensitive.
Insensitive to
Am I
prostitutes.
wrong in this? You guys might know.
sensitive to prostitutes.
Twin prostitutes.
The old school ashtrays They would have like divots all the way around, and then like the ashtray in the center.
Well,
wasn't that so that you could line it with cigarettes all the way around, like a tray of hors d'oeuvres in the 50s?
No. So you could put it down while it was still smoking,
so it's still lit,
and it still stays lit.
On the side.
I thought you could. It's like a meat tray, but with cancer.
No, it was
divot was to place it, and then
it's like we're going to have a round table discussion, and everyone's going to be smoking. We need a slot for everyone to put their cigarettes.
Well, they left their jackets.
You remember
in the
those days? Like when
I remember
people just
my grandfather had one of those ashtrays.
Really, and just everyone.
I remember the McDonald's gold ashtrays. Do you remember those? They were like very flimsy.
In the table.
Yeah.
And they had the logo stamped in the bottom.
Think of us when you die. Jackets in the closet and a large bowl of cigarettes sitting on a table. This is my favorite part. They also left a note which read, quote, "We are here. Today is the best of the rest of our lives." So this isn't the best day they've ever had.
Yeah.
This is the best day they'll have from here forward. And we are here.
We are here.
Yes.
We
are here. Today
maybe
is the best of the rest of our lives.
Worst graduation speech ever.
Today is the greatest day we'll ever know.
They
I think that's
quoted
how they
this
have
wrong.
to say
It does say best day. I can see it. Ooh, I'm hitting the mic. I can see it pictures. We are here.
Today is the best.
Today is the best day of the rest of our lives. And then they both signed it. I'm going to show you guys this picture.
Well,
there's
when
also some
someone
other
says,
writing.
but you
that
know
they
the
should've-
phrase, Harlan, when someone says today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Right.
That
to me is really nondescript.
No, it just means that like
every
you're starting
day
a
is
new path.
But every day is the first day of the rest of your life.
And then there's the saying I've always said to you two guys, today is the first day of the rest of your wife.
Yes, which
I never understood that.
Yeah.
I never got that.
Because you're not married.
I am married. The first day of the rest of the rest of your wife.
Yeah. By the way, could I just say, like, these people with the names Cat and Rod, they deserve everything they got. I hope there's a murder at the end of this story.
Oh, come on.
Like, they broke in, played music, and then bludgeoned them with a guitar.
Cat and Rod, they do sound like the companion couple to Julia Louis-Dreyfus and her husband's character in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Like that, those two people who live next door were
Cat
just
and
insufferable. Rod. Yeah, this is the same version of those.
It
Cat
sounds
and Rod.
like something you'd buy at Petco if a stray walked into your house and was like hiding behind the dryer.
Do we need to get the cat and rod?
Get the cat
Rod.
rod. Get that little pussy out of here.
Well, should we whip it? I don't understand.
No. Get to the cat and
I was just
rod.
wondering.
It's like a cattle prod. Cat and rod.
Cat and rod.
Okay, there is other writing. I'm going to show you guys this photo. This is what they left. It's their shoes. It's also the coats that are hung up, and you can see the note that they left, which is on some stationery that says inclusive innovation.
Inclusive Innovation sounds like the most nondescript company ever.
I know. I agree.
Like,
hey, where do you work?
If you told me they created the first electric car, I'd believe you.
Inclusive Innovation. Where do you work? Inclusive Innovation. Do you know what you do there? I don't.
I have no idea.
I do data.
I just know I have
data
not been
processing.
Fired.
We do cataloging of WeWork spaces.
What?
It's inclusive innovation.
One of the things I know that they also wrote in this, they dated it July 28th, 2019.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then they wrote XOXOXO. And thanks, I don't know. They were the nicest metal-loving intruders you could ever hope for.
Wow.
Yes.
Pill looking for people.
Maybe they were a Christian metal band.
Yes,
That could have
Christian
been,
metal is a
you
thing.
know,
It's a thing.
They left a note. Maybe there was some food in the oven.
May God bless you.
A freshly washed homeless guy in the tub.
I was going to say, I hope when they write "we are here," they mean we're still in this.
Yeah,
house.
we're still here.
Yes, find us.
We're in it with you.
Yeah. The disturbing incident is under investigation by the Edmonton police. In an emailed statement to Black Press Media, a spokesman with the detachment confirmed that officers responded to reports of a break and enter at the suite, but there isn't much more information to add at this time.
Is Black Press Media like media just for black people, or is it?
I don't know.
No,
Black Twitter?
Black Press is the name of the press.
Black Press Media.
By the way, we're here. We're clear. Get used to it is what Scientologists say.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
That's what they're going for.
God.
Today is the
So they
first
use
day of the rest
Clearasil?
of your wife.
There you
I'm
go.
still trying to figure it out, Harlan. I don't know.
No surveillance footage has
ask
been
your wife.
released publicly as of Friday afternoon, so maybe privately. Kat said And we all love Kat. She posted about the incident online along with the photos of the items left behind in hopes that someone recognizes them, not the people because we can't see them, but the items or the handwriting, and can lead police to the culprits. Thanks to everyone who has reached out to assist us, she wrote. We truly appreciate the outpouring of concern. Anyone with information.
So what, they showed up and then all of a sudden these guys left?
Yeah, but they unpacked their clothes. They unpacked their toiletries.
I think they were gone when they got there.
Oh, but how did they know they were wearing their clothes? Oh, okay.
Because their clothes are gone.
Got it.
New shoes are in the rack.
There's
a note with XOXO on it.
Dan, I now understand what happened.
And a dead guy in the bathtub.
What?
Wait a minute.
No.
They didn't cover that, but I feel
Scorpion in the sink.
But what was the source of the music? Like, did they leave like a cassette or something, or was it a radio station?
Listen, it's Edmonton. There are at least 3 heavy metal stations at all times.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
so I just left.
Turn the radio and just spin the dial. You'll hit
like
you'll hit heavy metal.
Rush comes on in Edmonton, and people are like, "Who turned on this soft rock station?"
If any one of our listeners wants to get on this case, they can contact the Edmonton Police with information at 780-423-4567.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I have never been to Edmonton, but the entire Edmonton Police Department is mounted on moose. Is that correct? Is that a correct statement?
Caribou. It's
Caribou.
Got it.
Moose is in Calgary. Yeah.
Got it.
Why do I always make that mistake?
You always mix it up, but that's okay. It's confusing.
All right. Well, there's one story down in the books.
There it is.
The great Harland Williams is with us, and we'll talk about great stuff that he's got going on after this break. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
It's a trying time that challenges all of our basic assumptions. However, one thing that brings us all together is our common humanity. Now, more than ever, teams must come together and work together to solve big challenges. And Trello is here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format. Plus, tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Teams of all shapes and sizes and companies like Google, Fender, and even Costco all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. With Trello, you can work with your team wherever you are, whether it's at home or in an office. No matter what device you're using, computer, tablet, or phone, Trello syncs across all of them, so you can stay up to date on all the things your team cares about. Keep your workflow going from wherever you are with Trello. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com. Working remotely can be a challenge, especially for teams that are new to it. How do you deal with your work environment being the same as home while staying connected and productive? And then there's your newest coworker, the cat. Well, your friends at Trello have been powering remote teams globally for almost a decade. At a time when teams must come together more than ever to solve big challenges, Trello's here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format, plus tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Trello keeps everyone organized and on the same page, helping teams communicate, focus, and connect. Teams of all shapes and sizes at companies like Google, Fender, Costco, and likely your favorite neighborhood coffee shop all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. We want to remind people we have a Patreon where you guys can sign up and get extra content. You can get awesome merch. You can come meet and greet us at shows and hang out with us afterwards. And then there's a high level where you can send us a piece of your social media and we will break it down, Dumb People Down style for you. And then you can post that on social media and be like, look, I made these guys do this. It's really fun. It's a great way to support the show and get extra content. And we always tell people, we have a great listenership and I would love to get the Patreon thing going even more. So
Patreon.com/dumbpeopletown.
Everyone who does it loves it. So if you're interested at all, get on board with that. Come see us do Dumb People Town live at Largo on September 9th with
Pete Yorn is playing music, Andy Richter, and Kate McCucci. It's going to be fun.
And then we're going to do it in New York right now with Michael Che on October 13th. That's a Sunday at the Bell House. Tickets are going for that one. So get your tickets now and we may do a second one. Who knows?
Visit DanielVanKirk.com for all his stand-up dates. And
Jacksonville, Florida, September, Chicago in October, and then a ton of other dates. DanielVanKirk.com.
Superscholars.com for us. And Harland Williams, where can people see you live?
Does this air today?
This will air
a couple weeks.
A week or two.
Then I'll be in Rochester, New York.
Nice. At Comedy at the Carlson?
I think so.
It's a great place.
Is it good?
I
Yeah.
love the guy
My
who runs
first
that club
time.
is the best.
Richie, is it Rich?
I don't think
He's
that guy is the
such a
nicest
nice
guy.
Yeah,
dude.
that's where I'll be.
You'll love it.
I'll be in Vegas in mid-September.
Do you like
and
playing
then-
Vegas?
It depends on the room. Yeah,
Which
so
room
I'm
are you gonna
doing
be in?
Jimmy Kimmel's new club.
I've
which
heard
is
it's
really
good.
nice.
Yeah.
It'll be my second time. So
Is it good? Fun room?
It's nice. Yeah, it's really nice.
What, do you do 20 or do you an hour there?
They have you do a little less because it's Vegas, so
Right.
I
Yeah.
do about 35, 40, where normally I do an hour.
Right.
So it's kind of
That's great. 35 is fun.
It's fun. It's fun. The same way putting a brace on your sister's eyes.
Hey,
would be
wait,
all
is
right.
that
Hang
fun?
on a second.
I love
That
doing
doesn't
that.
sound-
Today
Your
is the
sister.
first day of the rest of your wife.
wife.
I get it now. I get it now.
Go see Harland Williams. He's a.
Aw,
I will
thanks.
tell you, we have followed you at the Comedy Store many times.
You've brought us up.
Yeah.
It's
and
the most
likewise,
fun.
There are
likewise, yeah.
So fun.
More than any comic, there are times where Randy and I are backstage watching you just crush it by like ripping the hell out of the audience and connecting people from all over and building these beautiful improvised spontaneous moments. And Randy and I are like, we can't follow this.
We can't do it.
come
We cannot
on,
follow
man.
this. It's too
Cannot
funny.
do
Not
it.
true. Not
Yeah,
true.
true.
You
So
guys
funny.
crush every time.
Consistently funny every time,
Thank you,
Harland
guys.
Williams. And I'm
That's
glad you're
very
here.
kind.
Should
Thank
we-
you. I'm
should-
honored.
Should we jump into another story?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
please. That's
do it.
fun.
All right, ready? Here we go. Ready?
Yes.
Who
This
sent it in?
Sent in by Bread Limestones at vulnerable_CFO. A vulnerable CFO.
I like that.
CFO.
I like it.
Yeah, door open policy, I imagine.
Great.
Limestones?
Limestone.
Bread Limestones.
By the
is
way,
going
this
by.
day and age, every CFO is vulnerable.
It's true.
Watch out.
We all are.
Sounds
Watch
like he
out.
has like a kidney affliction. Like he's got
Yeah,
limestones. Like
I passed a kidney stone 2 weekends ago.
I passed a limestone.
Did you
Did you?
really?
Yeah.
Where?
Out at a rock quarry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How was it?
Best play. I just happened to be
Just
there
walked
and it
right
came
by
out
it?
and it was
Okay,
like,
good.
Oh, wow.
what good timing.
You're
In
free
a rock
now.
quarry and some limestone came out of me.
He's
And
part of the
that
movie Breaking Away
I was
too.
going to say that limestone is now part of the Bloomington and University of Indiana library. So
Cutters.
that's wonderful.
Ready?
Yes.
Ready for this headline? I'm going to read you the headline. You know it's fun when I do that.
Just the headline.
Man goes into hospital for Botox and leaves with circumcision.
Oh, that's the upsell. There's the upsell.
I can make this look a lot younger,
Yeah. You said you wanted all the skin back, right?
right? You wanted a lot of tucking, a lot of
And-
tightening up.
What head are we talking about here?
Could you imagine? You going for Botox and you get snipped.
So
You get-
Botox is where they, and again, forgive me, they
Inject botulism
botulism and bacteria into a certain part of your
And
head.
usually
yeah.
just your face.
to freeze your head and fill in cracks.
Do you know
Yeah.
anyone who's had Botox?
Aside from you,
Yeah.
Harland, aside from you, who has had it?
I get it a lot.
Wait a second.
Stop.
Yeah.
And how does it feel when you get it?
It feels tight. You feel tight. You feel like Gumby just came out of a hair dryer or something.
All right.
It's
Okay.
nice.
Fair enough.
Sweet.
Do you know anyone who had Botox? I don't know anyone who's ever gotten Botox.
I'm sure.
We
I'm
do.
sure
We
you
do.
do.
Yes, we do.
They're great to have sex with because when they orgasm, it just looks like they're staring at a stop sign.
Yes.
There's just no expression.
So normal.
Yeah.
Normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might just be with you, Harland.
Probably right.
All right. So
Today
what
is the
happened?
How was your
to this?
date, Harlan? Well, I can tell you this: she had Botox. She wouldn't admit to it, but it was
I don't
pretty
think
obvious.
so.
It wasn't the Botox. It was the fact she was circumcised.
Hey.
That was
that
what?
really went deep.
Come on.
Could be a fun surprise. A man circumcised by mistake after going to a hospital for a procedure involving Botox has been handed a compensation by the NHS.
That is okay. So if you go in for Botox and they give you a cheek lift or
Right.
something like that, that I can understand.
Mhm.
We're supposed to do something in this area. What did he
Right.
say he wanted? You know,
We're
Right.
running a special today.
This guy
tell me
also
about that. Daily
has
double.
he has a name that sounds like your dad's work friend who let you drive his car.
too
His name-
young. You were 13.
Yes, way too. Yes,
Right,
and he was
okay.
like, "You can move it. You want to move it?" His name is.
Let me see if I can guess. Mike Radford.
You're in the wheelhouse. You're in the
What's the
ready.
guy's name?
Terry Brazier. Just on name alone, he will let you have a sip of his beer. Terry, stop. Oh, I'm just being the Braze. You bite the Braze
Terry
over.
Brazier does not own one Oxford that isn't short sleeve.
Wait, so do you remember when they used to call Dairy Queen a
Brazier
brazier?
burger,
A
yeah.
brazier?
Yeah.
Brazier. Dairy Queen.
He's part of that
Brazier.
family.
He's like, that's what I do. I Toast it up. I need to get
Brazier.
some Botox immediately.
Terry Brazier.
What did that mean though at Dairy Queen? Like, did that mean like grill it or flame
I feel
it?
like they
know.
put it in a bra and let it sit there for a
Brazier.
A
Oh,
brazier.
it's a
Oh, they
Dairy Queen
braise it.
brazier.
Braise.
Or they
We were
braise the meat.
pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, like braised chicken.
Braise.
the meat.
They're
Okay.
braziers.
How do you like your hamburger?
Roasted would be.
Yeah, how would you like your hamburger? Broasted
or
I don't think-
braised?
Braised.
I'd like it tenderized by areoli,
Fun.
please.
Let me
Very
tell you
Go
something.
for it.
I am trying to braise a family over here, and I don't have a lot of money.
Cute.
California Braisins. Terry Brazier. Great wedding date. That's probably how he introduces himself.
Terry
Brazier,
Brazier.
I'm your new wedding date.
Great wedding date.
Yep. Was given the procedure after medics at the, is it, how do you say, Leicester? Leicester?
Leicester.
Leicester? I don't know.
Leicester.
Royal Infirmary mixed up his notes. Mr. Brazier, call me Terry.
Terry
He hates
Brazier.
that. My dad's Mr.
Yeah.
This
No,
is
he's
England,
British.
so
this is
you-
England. So
I
he
don't
couldn't-
care.
He
Not
wouldn't
to
be
me.
an
To me,
American
he's
guy.
he's in Iowa.
Yeah.
Mr. Brazier claims he was so distracted chatting to the nurses. You mean flirting with them and annoying them?
Yeah.
Right.
Sexually harassing them.
Right.
walking
Claims
the
he was
line.
so distracted chatting to nurses, he didn't realize he was getting a different procedure until it was too late. That's on him.
What?
What could you
You have to be anesthetized for
you
that.
have to be. What would you be getting Botox that you would get a local in that area that you don't realize your foreskin is being cut off?
Yeah.
That's not Botox. That's Lotox.
Yep.
Also, no one double. That's great. Thank you. Hatzclaw Brothers. Also, no one checks with you. You know,
Yeah.
we're cutting your dick up today,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
We're gonna take this.
Yeah,
last-
whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
whatever.
Wait. What? No.
I'm
Just
sorry, I'm
talking
just
to the
talking to
nurse.
these ladies. Terry Brazier here. Great wedding date.
He just thought that he was getting lucky. Like he thought, okay, I'll go in and get my face done.
Well,
and then
happy
the
ending
nurse
in the
starts
process.
undoing his pants.
He's
He's
like,
like, oh,
ending.
oh, it's this
she's
type of a
horny. This is like my
Well,
porno fantasy.
Unless you're in a car accident, just a helpful rule to everybody who can hear my voice: you'll always be the one undoing your pants.
That's right.
Never, unless
Don't
you're in a
let
car
any-
accident, no one else should be
Unless you're
undoing your
Robert
pants.
Kraft, no
This-
one else.
this is a
undoing
lesson.
it.
Oh, I
medical.
love his cheese.
This is a lesson to you right now. Do not get any surgical procedures at the Bunny Ranch in Nevada.
Don't
I'm
do it.
warning you in
Why?
advance.
Do it. Well,
Why?
they just
Because
Because
not
you go in
clean.
for Botox and then they cut off a little slice. of the
What if I
foreskin.
want to get my eyes straightened?
Well, that's your call.
Speaking
Lamar Odom tried that, and look what happened to him.
Speaking to the Daily Star, he said, quote, I went in the surgery for some Botox and they ended up circumcising me.
That is
I need more emotion from
words
you, Terry.
that you never thought you'd ever
There should
say
be
in your
3
life.
F-bombs in that statement.
but Terry, how do you feel about it? That's just what happened.
Hey,
I'm
I
telling
just
you.
state the facts.
See, none
Great
of us-
wedding
when
date.
None of us are making him English. and I
Terry
love it.
Brazier.
They didn't know what to say when they found out they'd done it. They said they can't send me back to the ward and needed to talk to me. So they came in and were like, "Can we talk to you?" Because
Here's the deal. We did something really nice for you that you didn't know was going to
But
happen.
here's my thing:
You are now Jewish.
if I'm in that part of that medical staff, I'm like, guys, he
Why do
doesn't
we need
even
to tell him?
realize we cut his dick.
I know.
He's never gonna realize that we cut his dick.
He will
Just
realize
believe
it.
it. Tell him that's what Botox is.
Yes, tell him that's part of the Botox
It's a
process.
new procedure.
If he didn't care when we were doing it, 2 weeks later, he's not gonna know at all. Leave
Yeah,
it.
That's information he doesn't need.
Was this at a hospital?
Yes.
Okay, because I was thinking, like, when does a Botox clinic and a circumcision ever cross paths?
Well, I
When
think
you go to acute care for
Right.
both.
They're just most seats sit straight up and they don't lean
Right.
back.
They offer this at Walgreens.
You want your flu shot and your Botox and your circumcision? You got to
You
sit in
should
that
never
chair
say
over
I
there.
got circumcised at Pearl Vision Center. That's never a good thing.
The nurse was at the side of me and we were talking. So I didn't know what was going on. Quote, it was a real surprise.
Yeah.
This is on you. This is on you as
This
much
is
as it is on
100
them, Terry.
I don't like what the hospital did, but I think Terry Brazier could have been a little.
Like, this should be a moment where the hospital says, look, we use Terry as an example that patients need to pay attention
They
to
need
what's
to
going on.
advocate for
We are
themselves.
setting this as the chance for
Right.
you to say, look, this story is going out there so that you need to ask questions. I'm sorry, Terry.
If they
but
cut the whole dick off, he becomes Terry Queen Brazier.
You know, at one point too, he was like, "The guys are gonna love this." Like he just kept thinking about
I've
the
got
guys.
a story. Oh
Yeah.
God, Terry! If you
I
tell
mean,
them,
if you're going in for Botox, you are telling as a man, I'm just going to say it, you're a vain.
yeah,
And he maybe said, I'm I'm a mainly vain guy, and they heard main vein and they went down.
Right,
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm trying to figure out how they would use
Doctors
it.
love slang. Andrew Furlong, medical director of the University Hospital, said
He won't be for long.
There
I'll
it
tell you
is.
that.
Well, he will not be for long. That's right.
we remain deeply and genuinely sorry that this mistake occurred, and I would like to take this opportunity to once again apologize to Mr. Terry Brazier. And I hope he in the background is like, no, I'm not having it.
Wait, he should be happy that they got rid of that nasty flap of elephant skin.
That's right.
And that they didn't inject his wiener with Botox
That's right.
because he would never have any sensation in it again.
Yes.
So he came out ahead, no pun intended.
Thank you. Come out ahead. Thank you.
Quote,
did.
we take events like this very seriously. How many do you have, doctor? And carried out
Do events like this happen all the time?
Check our calendar. We got 9 events like this every year.
we carried out a thorough investigation at the time to ensure that we learnt from this incident, and we do all we can to avoid it happening again. While money can never undo what happened, we hope that this payment provides some compensation.
They did not give him a third nipple. Like Harlan said, they actually did something that is helpful for this guy.
Yeah.
So I don't think they need to apologize that much.
No.
We have 2 things here.
He should leave them a tip. No pun intended.
Just
come
that.
on.
At Harland Williams.
.com.
On Twitter.
.com.
We're gonna have 2 little fun guessing games at the
I
end
can't
of this.
wait.
How much money do you think they compensated him, gave him
for making this
for
mistake.
giving him a not
Is it
required?
in
or
American
requested-
dollars or
American
pounds?
dollars or
I've
British pounds?
converted it to American
Okay.
dollars.
So Harlan, do you want to go first,
You wanna go
second, or
first?
third in
I
guessing?
would say they gave him, I don't know, $1,000 for every wrinkle, so 40 grand.
okay,
I at most $2,000.
$2,000.
I think they gave him like $18,000.
Okay,
40, 18, 2.
okay. First of our 2 fun guessing games is what was the compensation? And the answer is, get your answers at Now Townies. Play along with us, because the compensation given to Terry Brazier for his
brazen act of circumcision.
his dick plastic surgery that he didn't know was happening.
Just
The amount
happened
of
to
money they gave him was $24,510.
Wow.
Yeah.
Take that.
It's a
Thank
good
you.
flap.
It's a good.
And
that
we'll get
is- they should like flap at hospital causes, like that's if the
We'll get out of here on this.
New York
How
Post.
old is Terry Brazier?
Okay.
Now, how old do you think a guy is that went in for a procedure to get Botox, got circumcised, didn't realize it
62.
was happening?
Yeah.
62 from Harlan.
I say 56.
56 from
Jay.
Randy Sklar. Jason.
47.
47 years old. None of you are exactly right.
Oh, darn
Terry
it.
Brazier, the man who will talk to a nurse while you cut his penis.
Yep. And will not be distracted.
Right. Is 70 years old.
Wow, Harlan knew.
Yeah, dude.
Harlan
I
knew.
know old meat.
Yeah.
I know old meat.
You know old meat.
I know old meat when
now,
I've seen it.
we got a thing here where I think our audience is going to want to know. We got 5 guys in a room
Yep.
here, and we got to tell them
Sure.
who of us are
Right
circumcised.
here, bro.
So all of us.
Yes.
Oh, we're all mushroom cappers.
There we go.
Wow.
Hey, listen.
I know. I wouldn't want one. I wouldn't want the flap.
I went in to get Botox last year. And
On
then,
what?
And the next thing I know, they cut my penis.
So
this
I
happened
went,
to me.
I
was
went in to
fresh.
get Botox when I was 8 days old, and they gave me a circumcision.
I went in to get Botox 2 months ago, and they added some skin.
Why
Why
would they
would
do
that
that? That's a
sound so
reverse
weird?
thing.
It's a reverse circumcision.
Yeah, it's
they
a-
gave me.
They put an extra flap on there.
an
Call
extra
that the
flap so I
baggie.
could grasp peanuts.
Oh,
Yeah,
Stop it.
did
What?
you see? Yeah,
my
I saw that
penis
on.
likes
of you.
peanuts.
I saw that on Spade's show when the playmate went to pose with the elephant, and the elephant just like
Went after her.
groped, like the
Oh.
trunk groped the hell out of this
Oh,
woman.
really?
It was insane. I was like, wait a minute, this has to happen more often. Like that elephants
I
are
mean, elephants and dolphins, man. No boundaries.
no,
Yeah.
no boundaries ever. All right,
Mm.
chew on that. What's the fine? Give me a little tease of what we have for the last story, Dan.
A man's got something wrong with his eye.
Okay, I love it. Harland Williams is with us. We'll be back with more Dumb People Town and a man who's got something wrong with his eye. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. And by the way, if you listen to this show and you enjoy it, we do another show called View from the Cheap Seats, sports, comedy, indie rock. Dan does another show on this network as well called Pen Pals.
Yep. With me and
Subscribe
Rory
to those.
Scovel.
You and Rory Scovel. It's a lot of fun. We want to get you guys involved in that stuff as well.
All right, Dan, last
take
story.
us home,
Let's
brother.
take us
Okay,
home.
ready?
Yep.
Sent in by Liz Haggerty at Liz Haggerty. Liz, I love you out there. Thanks
you,
for
Liz.
sending
Goodie.
these in.
Thank you.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warn people to check under their arms, around their ears, and even inside their belly button for ticks after possible exposure.
No.
You should have an idea where this is going.
Yep.
The agency may have to add another especially cringeworthy tick harbor to the list.
Nope.
The eyeball.
What?
Oh, Lyme disease.
A Kentucky man says he
Eye
went to
tick.
the doctor for an eye irritation and found out it was caused by one of the 8-legged blood-sucking critters.
Wow.
Whoa.
I already
your
hate
eye.
ticks.
On your eye.
Ticks. What do ticks do?
Ticks are the worst. You can pull it off of your body and the head stays in, still sucking your blood.
So here's the deal. I saw bats flying around when I was up in Northern California, and I'm like, ooh, this is scary. But then you realize bats eat mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bring
they're
those bats on.
So
Wait, you
hang out.
hang around that bridge in Austin, you will not get
You'll
bitten
never
by
get
this.
bitten because
Never.
the bats fly around. So I was like, bats, they're doing their job. What does a tick do?
just
Yeah.
ruins your
Nothing.
life.
What does a wasp
What
do?
does a mosquito do other than transmit disease?
Wasps pollinate flowers.
Do they?
They do.
They do not.
I read it. You know why I know? Because my son is so terrified of wasps. He said, "Dad, what do they do? We need to get rid of them from the earth." I said, "Let's Google it." We Googled it, and it said they pollinate flowers just like bees do, and you can't hate on wasps. And
But
so
you can
I
hate
told
on
him,
mosquitoes and ticks.
Yeah, those
and
are
fleas.
assholes. Those guys are the worst.
Have you ever met a tick that you're like, oh, thank God.
Like at a
Thank
bar?
God you're here.
I've had ticks. Sometimes you pull them off, and they got such a strong grip that if the head doesn't come off, they'll pull a little chunk of your skin right
Yeah.
off. I've had that happen
Hi,
before.
hi,
Really
Yeah.
dig in.
They get in there, man. You know, you can use toothpaste on them because I
Yeah.
used to be a lumberjack, so we used to get a
Were
lot
you
of
really?
Yeah, we used to get a lot of our guys get ticks, so you put
Toothpaste?
menthol toothpaste on them, and
Yeah.
they
And that'll-
can't
they'll just
breathe,
fall
so
off.
they back out. Or you put Vaseline. Some guys would burn them with the end of cigarettes.
I haven't had a tick since I was, I think, 18 or 19. I
You
was,
go
a,
out in
I
the
was a
woods.
grave digger.
Our dog used to get them.
Oh yeah,
Dogs
dogs.
used to get 'em,
They
yeah.
don't affect. Like I don't think animals get Lyme disease.
No, they
Humans
don't.
get it, but I don't.
We
think,
know people who've had Lyme disease. It's a cripple. It's a terrible disease.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. My
Puts you
cousin had
down. Ugh.
it's horrible.
So a Kentucky man says he went to the doctor for an eye irritation and found out it was caused by one of the 8-legged blood-sucking critters.
Never what you think. You never walking in going,
That has to be back in your eye, right? Because wouldn't you
see the tick?
see the tick?
Well, not only that, when they suck, their bodies expand like
Yeah.
huge. They go
Yes.
from completely flat to they become like a
Little
raindrop.
balloon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
When
big.
you see a tick.
Shake it.
Yep.
Oh,
Find
cute.
romance.
Was that a cute break we just
Yeah,
had?
we just had
Yeah.
one. We
I
just
d-
had one. Let's
Do you
get
guys
it
do
back.
that
Good
every
cute
show?
break.
A
No.
cute break?
Cute
We
break.
need to do
I should
more.
have
of
brought
it.
some cinnamon.
Hey, stop it.
Cinnamon.
Oh,
You brought some grape crush.
Cinnamon.
An optometrist numbed the eye
Oh, God.
and removed the tick. With,
By the way, the numbing of the eye is enough to make me
Yeah.
pass out.
Yeah.
Because
How
that's
do you
a needle in the eye,
How
right?
do you numb an eye? You stick a gigantic horse needle in the eyeball.
Yeah.
he numbed the eye, then performed a circumcision on the man.
Hey, hang on. That
Oh.
doesn't
He didn't
seem
know,
right.
right?
He didn't know what was
His
happening.
eyes are shut.
Razor, I barely know her.
Thank you.
An optometrist numbed the eye and removed the tick with tweezers. Floyd County resident
Floyd.
Chris Prater told the local news outlet. That's who this happened to, I guess,
Yeah.
Chris Prater.
Uh-huh.
Prater said he, quote, got scared a little bit after the doctor told him the source of the irritation. No shit.
Hey, by the way, if you're the doctor, this is something you tell him afterwards after you
As
get
soon
it.
as you're done.
Yeah.
If I'm that
It's a
guy,
little
I'm
something
like,
in your eye.
where
We're going to
do-
pull it out.
Where do I start Googling places that don't have ticks? And I'm like, I'm moving there.
Yeah,
So
they're
this never
pretty
happens
much
again.
everywhere,
Good luck.
bro.
Yeah.
Like if you have scorpions, you definitely have ticks.
Yeah.
So wait,
Yeah.
so
Son of a
Harlan,
bee.
when
Yeah.
you were a lumberjack,
Yeah.
you dealt with those like widowmaker, like the thing at the top of the tree that is an old thing that it's going to come down and
Oh, yeah,
that was
yeah.
like the scariest thing in the world. That this thing. Did you ever see a tree fall on someone?
No, but well, here I have a funny story. I was
Let's
on a
hear it.
trail once, and I was sad, but it made me laugh. There was a great big tree, like probably the circumference of a small pizza,
Wow.
and it was right across the trail. We were walking, and then I looked, and there was like big chunks of like chunks of tree all around.
Mhm.
and a beaver had chewed the tree. And as I got close, I saw the half of a beaver sticking out from under the tree. So the beaver dropped a tree on itself and killed himself. But yes, I have seen like the tops of trees come down.
So they sometimes have like what is like a branch that
spiky.
It's basically like a guillotine that could come down on the thing.
Or sometimes what happens is the top of a tree will rot and die, and so the base looks solid, and then when you start hammering the tree or cutting it, the top can actually come off and fall down.
What do you think? Was this your first job?
But
like, was this a career you had before you? Obviously,
were you doing comedy while?
Yeah,
you
like
were
no. Did you know you were going to leave it eventually and pursue?
Yeah,
comedy?
This is when I first got out of college. I did it for
Yeah.
about 5 years, and then
5 years.
Yeah.
And where? In what part? In like
on the remote shores of Lake Superior, on the east and northern shores of Lake
And
Superior.
were you funny and doing comedy like things in your life?
I would, like the other guys in the camp would tell me I was funny, and one of the guys actually said to me once, he goes, "You should be a stand-up comedian," and that he doesn't know it, but that actually started the wheels spinning a little bit. That
Really?
obscure,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Harlan just on the big lake they call Gitchagumi.
and he's
wondering if he's going to go for it.
So I am fascinated by this. So
I am too.
So you're logging. You're on the remote shores of.
How'd you end up being a logger?
Or not a logger, a lumberjack.
Lumberjack.
So there was a program where I lived. It was called the Junior Ranger Program, where kids could go up for the summer and do this for like 2 months at these logging camps. And then I did it, and I loved it. So then I got to go back as one of the guys who ran the camps, so the foreman of the camp. So we did fish and wildlife work, logging, like timber, tree planting, everything.
Do you still like to go out fishing?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Where do you fish in Southern Cal?
I've fished in some of the rivers and up at Mammoth. I fly fished up.
What's
in
the
Mammoth.
biggest fish you've ever caught?
You call it Poma Muskie, right?
At my house in Florida, on the wall, I have a 9-foot, 160-pound marlin that I caught in Cabo. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
How long did it take to reel it in? Like 2 hours?
It took about maybe 45 minutes.
9 feet.
9 feet, yeah. But I have to be honest, I'd never hooked into a fish that big before. So after about 20 minutes, my right arm went numb.
Yeah.
And I had to ask the captain to come down and jump in. So he went at it for about 15. My arm came back.
And like,
but he was able, because he was experienced, he was able to, in that 15, reel it in probably an extra hour that would have been lost if I did it. So
he took an hour off
expedited. He cut some time, and then when my arm came back, I got back on it and then brought it in.
That's unbelievable.
It's pretty wild.
That is a humongous. Did it jump out of the water?
It jumped. It did everything, man. It was on the cusp of a hurricane.
Oh God!
So there's a hurricane
coming in.
About 200 miles out, and the weather wasn't there yet, but the ocean had started rolling.
Oh my God!
So I was supposed to go out for 8 hours, and after about an hour and 10 minutes, the captain, we were rolling so high, we were like the only boat left out there. He comes down and he goes, "Sir, we've got to go back in." And on the word "in,"
you caught the fish.
The damn line just went. And this thing was on, and so here I was in this rolling chop, reeling up this monster. It was pretty
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for an hour. We play through on this fish.
It was pretty wild.
Okay, so you're out of college, and you have not at that point in your life, you're a lumberjack, and you have not even considered a life in comedy. It hasn't,
not yet.
It hasn't.
No one in your family, no one you know is a comedian. So this is like a complete.
Yeah, I just. It's funny when that kid said that. I think it was my last year that I did it, and one of the guys I worked with out at the camp, he said, "Oh, you should." I was being funny, and he said, "You should do comedy." And that I kind of went, interesting, you know. And that's the first time I think the seed was planted where I thought I could maybe try that as a career or something.
So you went back to Toronto, or you were in Toronto at any time?
Yeah, after that, I ended up going back to Toronto.
And go to like Yuck Yucks and start doing...
I just started to do the amateur
open
nights.
mics and stuff?
Yeah.
Who was doing... Anybody
that you still are friends with,
or who was like ahead, and you're like, oh, I want to be like that person. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you
Or
know,
somebody you looked up
interesting
to in
enough,
that
there's a
moment.
guy on this season of America's Got Talent. I don't know if you guys watched that
I haven't
show.
been, but what's the
But
guy's
there's
name?
a guy named Greg Morton who I started with.
No
And
way.
he's kind of been, working in the clubs
Sure.
his whole career, hoping for a big break. And so he's on this year, and he's like killing it. He's going right
That's
through to the
great.
finals. So
Oh
it's
my
really
God,
exciting.
that's
He
phenomenal.
was a guy I did my first night. He was the other guy that
Really?
and we became friends. But it was funny because back then this was a club up in Toronto,
Uh-huh.
and the owner kind of had a good eye for comedians, and so he
We
was
met him. I
Yeah,
believe.
Mark Breslin.
Yeah,
and
such
he
a nice
was
guy.
bringing up
Terry?
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Not Terry Brazier.
No,
Mark
not Terry.
Breslin, for Christ's
So he
sake.
bring up Bobcat
He-
from Boston.
He brought up Bobcat and Sam Kinison, and so I got to sit in this small little club and watch these guys just when Kinison was just before
Starting.
he had blown up.
before the Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah,
thing.
so I would sit there and watch this guy go nuts in this small little and work on the same stage with them. Like I'd go up with them or after him or before, and it was like I didn't know he was going to be a huge star, but
It's crazy.
Do you remember any of your like earliest bits? Of,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what you were talking about on
oh
stage?
yeah, everything.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your first thing that you loved? That you
the
were
first thing that hit hard, and you're like, "Oh, I'm in this. This
I
is
think
what I'm
the
doing."
first thing I did was that really hit is I used to do a joke that my mother was so fat she'd shave her legs with a chainsaw, and then I
Some
do
of that
the
lumberjack humor.
chainsaw noise because I used to do it out in the woods.
Yeah.
So
You brought your
You
experience.
brought your experience
Yeah,
back
yeah,
in.
I did. So I do this really loud chainsaw noise, and it got a big laugh.
That's
so that was one
hilarious.
of the
Awesome.
early.
And then your mother did shave her legs with a chainsaw.
She did.
Let's be
Technically,
100%
she did,
honest.
so it was true. It was
So,
100%.
I mean, look, what's funny is it's funny because it's true. That is amazing. What an interesting story.
I love it.
All right, let's
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, let's
I'll
get back.
reset where we are. No problem at all.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
An optometrist numbed the eye with tweezers, as we've covered.
Yeah.
And then the Floyd County resident Chris Prater told the news outlet all this happened to him. He said, quote, he got scared a little bit when he told him the source of the irritation.
Right.
Randy, you've proved that you should do that after.
Yep. Talk about it later.
Because they always say with doctors,
Show it to him after you've killed it.
worry about what's happening with your doctor when they stop talking.
Right.
Like when they're like, Yeah, then you
That
are in
means they don't
trouble.
know how to
When
break
you're
you the
not
news.
getting information, that's
Right.
when it's bad.
Right. That's when it's real bad. The quieter the room, the worse you're doing.
Just like comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
right. True.
Doctors and comedy.
Quote, he says, this is from Chris Prater. I leaned around and looked at him and I asked him if he was joking. No. And he said, no, you have a deer tick or some type of tick on your eye.
Oh, God.
Bro.
On your eye sounds worse than in your eye.
Yeah.
On your eye sounds like this is an issue now
This
forever.
is the part that creeps me out the most.
Okay.
Please.
As it came out, when the doctor removed the tick with the tweezers, it made, quote, a little popping sound.
What?
On your eye.
Like
Just a
Rice
li-
Krispies?
Like a-
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
pop.
Yeah, just a
Pop.
little, just his claws coming out of your eyeball.
Oh. Wonder if there's Rice Krispie tick Rice Krispie
Tick
squares.
Krispies?
You
If
can
you got
make
a
it.
whole bunch of those ticks.
Put them all in,
Put
a,
'em in a
square.
square. They-
Marshmallows.
Yeah.
Harlan, make the cereal you want to see in the world.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Don't
Thank you
don't
so
make
much,
the
guys.
cereal that you think you are.
The tick made a
Go
popping
for it.
sound when it came out. Prater went home with antibiotics and I'm good. Steroid drops. For
I hope
his,
they gave him Ambien as well because he'll never be able to sleep again.
There it is. Prater first noticed his eye issue after leaving Johnson County, so he's blaming them.
This here is a Johnson County issue.
Oh.
He was
Yeah.
working for an electric company removing a tree from power lines.
Look, he's could man. His friend's like, you're funny. Go
You
do
should go into
comedy.
comedy.
Right. A safety manager at his company examined the eye, he said, and he tried without success to flush the irritation out. So he had someone at work look at it, and of course those guys are like, You're
Run
fine.
some water on it and walk
You're
it off.
You're
buddy.
fine, buddy.
Prater didn't want to go see a doctor and figured he could wait for the spot to go away. Guys, it's your vision.
If there's something slightly wrong with you, go to the hospital, period.
Right.
Just do it.
But the problem persisted. And
But
he
if you
went
go to
see
the
an
hospital,
optometrist.
you could get circumcised. We've
Yeah.
learned that.
So
from the
just
early
be
days.
aware.
Maybe you need it. Quote, I know what's in your eye. Prater remembers the optometrist
By the
saying
way,
after
one of my
taking a look.
favorite. I know it's in your eye was one of my favorite.
Children's books going
no,
on.
either. I was going to say
shoot.
Nev Campbell movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
know
a
what's
great
in
I know
your
what's in your eye
eye.
last
Yeah.
summer.
I love that. Yeah.
Ticks are most active from April till September, so tick season, according to the CDC,
Yeah.
which warns they live in areas with grass, brush, and trees. So So find those areas that don't have any of those, Jay.
Yeah, exactly.
And make your
Desert.
make home on animals too. Camping, hunting, or just spending time in your backyard could expose you to the pests. Quote, some of the tiny animals, relatives of spiders, attach and feed on a host for less than an hour. Others stay for days.
Yeah.
So theoretically, it could have just let itself go, but then it still might have been in your eye.
Toothpaste. You got to put toothpaste in your eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Menthol toothpaste.
Menthol
like
toothpaste.
Aquafresh or something.
Yeah.
Right out in
Okay.
there, the CDC says there's no need to panic. If you find the insect on your skin, it says you can remove them yourself with fine tipped tweezers. But if it's in your eye, I'm not doing that on my own. Yeah.
See, the problem with the tweezer thing, though, is that they have such a grip. If you do detach the head, then you could potentially,
The body, the head could stay.
The head could stay in there. So that's why if you put something on it that cuts off all.
And what would you say put on it?
Toothpaste or Vaseline.
Yeah. And then it creates a seal, right? And they have no oxygen, so they have to back out. But
Back it out.
That's lumberjack style.
By the way, that is a situation. If you're in a contract negotiation and it's not working, you're like, that should be new terminology. We got to back the tick out of this one.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a quick story that's creepier than the
let's do it.
This
Give it
is
to our townies.
Yeah.
We'll leave on that. You go.
This is a real one. So when I worked up north, we were on a lake, and a lot of the rivers and systems we'd go on. You got leeches, you got these big leeches.
God.
They're probably about 3 inches long.
Wow.
And then there's a different species of leech. They're gray, and they mostly stay on the bottom, like stuck to rocks. They're very flat, and they're hard to pull off. But they're shorter, and they're thinner, and they stick to so they rarely get on you. And so we were swimming once, and so I used to get them, and they're hard to kill. They're so rubbery, like you can't kill them. So this is going to sound gross, but I got to a place where I'd just grab them, I'd bite them in half and throw them. The big rubbery ones. Because you just do it really quickly.
God.
Yeah, I would think.
So one time there was a gray one, and it was coming around on a guy's foot. So I grabbed it and I bit it, and they're a lot thicker. They're like almost like a jerky texture. And so I'm grinding it with my teeth.
Jesus Christ.
And one thing that the gray ones do, they have their babies, and they have about 200 of them, and they carry them on their belly. Little tiny, they almost look microscopic. So I'm biting this thing in half, and all of a sudden I feel
in your mouth.
I feel all these little things going up into my gums. And I look, and there's babies and these little baby leeches are going into the cracks in my teeth, into my gums.
Into your gum. How did you get them out?
When you suck a kernel of popcorn, I was just like, I was sucking so hard, I almost imploded my head.
Are they still
might
there?
be still there.
How'd you get them out?
That I just had to pull and get toothpicks, and it was horrifying. That was the last time I bit
of them.
I'd say probably about 10 or 20 just went because they're so small. So I never bit into another leech after that.
This is what I call learning lessons the hard way.
The Harland way.
By the way, the Harland way. Kids don't do that nowadays. Don't do it.
But
But
Don't bite your leeches.
Don't bite your leeches. Don't go become a lumberjack up north.
Don't go chasing
Wait,
waterfalls.
what's your creepy insect story? Everyone has one. You got a scorpion.
Tried to kill it with a shoe, killed 2 of them. I actually recently, so we were in our backyard, and I saw a giant black spider that was a black widow on our hose. And I was like, trying not to panic the kids who were out there. And I was like, to my wife, there's a spider on the hose. And she's like, I'll get it. And I was like, I don't know if you should get it. She comes over and just smashes it with like a napkin or a paper towel. And I was like, trying not to freak, because I would have done it, but I also probably wouldn't have done that.
Took him like a baseball bat.
Yeah, I would have sprayed whatever it was on it.
You sure she wasn't just mad because you had some hose in the backyard?
Hey, look.
But the next thing you know,
Bros before hose.
Jay's sleeping in his bed, and his wife is up on the ceiling.
Yeah,
She's now been bitten by a
Spider-Man
radioactive
into the
black
Spider-Verse, but she took it out. Took it out, bro.
There you go. All right, there we go. That's it.
There's the show.
That's a show. Harland Williams, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us in Dumb People Town. And oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, calm her down. It's Dumb People Town.
Scarpins Avenue.
A podcast network.